So I posted a video today, so if you have not gone to watch it, please go do so. I just spent the day with my mom. Actually, I uploaded a video that has like 2.5, maybe 3 days of footage on there. I was with my mom. We were doing some wedding shopping with my sister one day. So go check that video out. So it's 10/1. A part of my YouTube channel, my YouTube vlogging and stuff, was to kind of give you guys a little insight about my life. I'm not gonna be real personal like a lot of YouTubers, especially not early on, but I wanted to vlog today specifically because it is October 1st, and you guys don't know this obviously because I've never said it, but today 3 years ago I was pregnant with identical twins and I lost them. So I'm just gonna go kind of into that with what happened and everything with my pregnancy. So story time. So I graduated in 2015 from high school, so you guys can kind of calculate how old I am, but I'm not afraid to say I will be 22 November 2nd, Scorpio, woo woo. But so Kendall is trying to watch TV and she keeps changing the channel. Mommy duties, give me 1 second please. Kendall, Ray, what are you trying to watch? Paw Patrol's her favorite. Okay, so graduated from high school in 2015. 2 days after I graduated from high school, I found that I was pregnant. Complete shocker. Was not trying to get pregnant. Me and the guy that I was pregnant by, we were in a relationship for quite some time. So, I mean, it was kind of happy, kind of not. But he had his own plans. I obviously had mine afterward, but we were still kind of a part of each other's plans. But that did not include a baby. So I still had plans to go to college. He had moved back to his home state, and I obviously pursued going to college. So freshman at my college that I was attending, and you know, it was kind of rocky, little stressed out. My first time being away from home, being away from my mom. So I kind of lacked that support system that I would have had I stayed home, but I still wanted to get that college experience. So yeah, so I go to college, you know, transferred my doctor down there. When I found out I was pregnant, I was like maybe like 4 weeks. So how I found out, so I had missed my period. So I missed my period for like maybe a day or two, and I had never missed my period. So I remember I was with my mom one day. I think we were shopping. Yep. So I was with my mom and we were shopping for my open house decorations and stuff. And so I'm like, hey mom, can we stop by Family Dollar or Dollar General or some type of dollar store? I think we were in Dollar Tree or something like that. And so I went and bought a pregnancy test, and I tried to hide the bag in my purse. I got away with it because she obviously didn't know what I was doing or what I bought. So I took the pregnancy test, and I had a job in high school, and I worked from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we did all this before I had to go to work. And took the pregnancy test, came back positive, y'all. I almost fell in the toilet. So I didn't say anything to anybody. I was talking to my nephew's girlfriend at the time, and we were talking about it, and then I had ended up texting him and telling him, and we kind of like argued and like, if you've ever been in like during a breakup or experienced a breakup while you're at work, you already know, like, you texting, you can't focus. So that was how I was when I told him I was pregnant. So then what happened after that, y'all? This was 3 years ago. I done did a lot since then. Let me think. Okay, so some time went on. So the next day, The next day, I asked my best friend if she can take me to the ER. So we go to the ER. We go to like this, I don't know why I chose to go to a hospital like far away, but we went to a hospital like 45 minutes away from my house. Probably not that long, but it was really that long. So I think it was like 45 minutes away from my house. So I'm going into the ER, and we're like, so like, mind you, I've never experienced this before, so I don't know what to say to get these people, like, without telling them, like, I'm 18, about to go into this emergency room full of people. How are they going to look at me? Are they going to judge me? Like, I don't know. I don't want to just go in here and tell them that I'm pregnant. I want to, you know, see the baby or whatever. So we're, like, thinking up scenarios and stuff to ourselves, like, what can we say so that they make sure, you know, that they do the right thing or whatever. So I go in the ER and I tell them, like, you know, my stomach's been hurting. I've been cramping real bad. I've been throwing up, and I think I'm pregnant. Mind you, I already know. So go in, do that. We finally get called back, and they take the test, and they're like, congratulate, come back in. They're like, congratulations, you know, the test did come back positive. The nurses and stuff, they were so happy. And I was like it became real then, because I'm like, okay, I'm at the doctor, they know what they're talking about. So it became extremely, extremely real. So all that, and then I call my sister. I'm like, hey, I'm about to send you an address. I need you to come here like ASAP. I'm in the hospital. So she's like panicking, like, gotta get to you. So she finally comes up to the hospital, and I'm like, I'm pregnant. So me and her, she like screaming, like, what are you gonna do? But she was really excited. So she was there. My best friend had left, so she ended up leaving. Then my mom calls. I planned on hiding this from my mom for a very long time. However, we just don't have that relationship where I just hide stuff from her. So that didn't go as planned. So my mom calls, and we're like talking around the situation, and I'm like, Mom, guess what? She's like, what? I'm like, your daughter pregnant. And then she's like, who? And I was like, Sierra, which is my sister. And Sarah was like, Rihanna pregnant. I'm like, oh my God. So she was like, this is the only thing she told me. She wasn't mad or anything. She said, well, you better figure out how you're going to take care of a baby and go to school. So, you know, we kind of talked about it, kind of talked about some options. An abortion was never an option for me. I don't believe in killing babies or anything, so that was never an option. Me and my boyfriend at the time's mom were really close. We are still extremely close to this day, and she backed me 110% on whatever decision that I wanted to make, and so did the rest of his family, and so did the rest of mine. So we had the conversation. Fast forwarding, I'm in school. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Say hi. Hi. So so I'm in school. I'm in school now. I meet a guy, and we're, you know, just friends, just kicking it and whatever. Just two lost freshmen on campus, basically supporting each other. He had my back, I had his back, and you know, we just kind of did our thing. I was like extremely stressed out during my whole pregnancy. Not saying that that was a factor in why I lost him, but I just wasn't in a good space the whole pregnancy. So I know that I remember just being in and out of the hospital one week, and honestly, I ain't never told nobody this. That's somebody was at the door. I ain't never told nobody this, but when I first found out, stop chewing on my charger. I've never told anybody this, but when I first found out I was pregnant, I used to hear a lot of people say, you know, they get a lot of ultrasounds and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to see my baby just as much as everybody else is. And it's just crazy to me, like, you know, thinking back on it, like, I never got an ultrasound. The only ultrasound that I got was when I found that I was pregnant, when I was at the ER. So I never received an ultrasound from the baby to even confirm that there was something in it. Pause right there. Rewinding. When I was in the ER, the doctor, the actual OB, didn't think that I was pregnant. Because he was like that, well, really, I was too early for him to kind of even say yes or no. But the test came back positive either way. But he said that there was a sac, but there was nothing in the sac. But I was obviously too early. I was like 4 weeks pregnant when I found out. So it was too early to see anything. So he didn't think that I was pregnant. He said that my ACG was too low, and all that kind of stuff. And if you've ever been pregnant before or know anything about that, you know what the ACG is. But rewinding back to the ultrasound. Fast forwarding back to the ultrasound. So I never really got an ultrasound to see my baby my whole pregnancy. So that really bothered me. So sometimes I would really feel like sick to my stomach and feel like I'm growing, and I had a lot of growing pains, and I took those pains and just exaggerated them and went to the doctor so that I could see my baby. But like when you go to the ER and they do ultrasounds in the ER, they don't let you get those photos until you actually see your primary doctor. So I did all that maybe for like a week straight. This was the second week of September. The last week of September, I believe. Yep, the last week of September. I was in and out. And I was like 5 months pregnant, or just about 5 months pregnant with them. I had not known, stop. I didn't know what I was having or anything. So the week before I found that I was having, this is when everything, or I was supposed to find out, this is when everything started happening. So the whole week before my actual 5-month mark, I was having a whole lot of complications and stuff. So I remember it was a Thursday night. And I was at the ER, having regular growing pains and stuff like that. So by this time I had seen like 4 different doctors from the ER. So I get an ultrasound, and something just felt different about this ultrasound. And I asked the lady, because the ultrasound tech, all the other ones, were talking to me. And when you're in the ER and you get an ultrasound, they can't really tell you what they're looking for or what they find or anything like that until you see the doctor. So she was being just like real, like mad, weird, like awkward and stuff like that. So, I asked her, I'm like, is everything okay? And she was like, I can't really say whether or not until you see the doctor. I'm like, that automatically just made me think like something was wrong. So I come back in the room and we're waiting for the doctor to come in, and he comes in and he sits down, and my heart just automatically starts beating. And he says, "Did you know you were having twins?" I said, "Hell no. No, sir, I did not." So he's like, yeah, there's 2 babies in here. Yes. Well, yes.
Mama.
Yes.
Mama.
She doesn't want anything.
Mama.
What? Yes, ma'am.
Mama.
Yes, ma'am.
Mama.
Okay. She's good. So
Mama.
he's like, yeah, you're having twins. You there's 2 babies in there, and it's it was a thing called, I don't remember if this is the exact term, but I believe so. It was called mono, where they were identical and they were in the same sac but sharing the same placenta. So those are automatically high risk and complicated pregnancies. But he assured me that everything was fine. So baby A, baby B. There was baby B who was smaller than baby A. But he assured me again that they were perfectly healthy. Everything was great. So I'm like, okay, cool. Scared to death. Thought I was only having 1 child. But here I am, pregnant with twins, 18, freshman year of college. Crazy, right? So, I keep thinking somebody's at the door. So, I go back to my dorm. you know, tell everybody the news. I lived in a dorm where I was in a multicultural, yes, where I was in a multicultural achieving scholarship program. So it was like a bunch of females on our floor, and we were all like this. So some of us are still like this to this day, because as they say, in college you will meet some of your very best friends, and I did. So go back to my dorm, you know, tell everybody. Actually, I take that back. I did not tell everybody the news. I told about 2 people. And for some reason, God was just telling me, keep this to yourself. I told 2 people, and that was my mentor and one person that I actually kind of don't talk to anymore. But it's just no bad luck. But anyway, I told them, and I called and told my mom. So the following week, I want to say Monday. This was a Thursday. The following Monday was my scheduled appointment to find out what I was having. So my family comes down, my sister, my mom, my sister, and my mom's ex at the time. They come down for my doctor's appointment to see what the babies were. And the ultrasound tech is going over baby B. And I'm excited. I don't know. My mom's a nurse, so she knows what to look for and what means what. But when they were going over baby, now that I'm thinking about it now, but not at the time, when they were going over baby B, nobody was saying anything. Everybody just kind of had like this quirky smile on their face. So, some time went on. She moved to baby A. We seen baby A. She was, moving, doing her thing. Go back to baby B. And the nurse looks at me. She says, "You see this?" And then my mom says, "Is that what I think it is?" And then the nurse says, "Yes." So, and here I am confused. I'm thinking like, okay, well, y'all see a PP or a hamburger for the girls. So, the nurse says, "Yeah," and then she cuts on the activity part. So that's like where you see like the color waves of activity, like blood flow and stuff like that. So she cuts that on, and she's like, "We're not getting a heartbeat." And as soon as I heard that, I just burst out into tears. And yeah, it was a hard pill to swallow. Just finding out that you're losing a child. At no age is it easy. So after she said that, my OB came in, and like, this was one of the best doctor offices I have ever been in. Like, those people were almost like family to me. The doctor came in, and he sat with me, he talked with me, and he held me while I cried, and all that type of stuff. And he just kind of went over like what our next steps were. So because I had this like high risk pregnancy, they didn't want to take the baby who wasn't I guess alive. They didn't want to take her out. So they were like, well, we're going to keep her in because it'll be too much of a risk for baby A to stay healthy if, we go in and take her out. So mind you, they're in the same sex, sharing the same placenta. And they couldn't tell right off bat why baby B didn't make it. So I gave my baby's name. So the baby who I lost, her name is Makai. And the baby who I lost first name is Makai. Baby A's name is Kingsley. So I'm just gonna go by those names because baby ain't baby B. My babies was out here in this world. So boom. Okay, that doctor's appointment, it was just kind of still a hard pill to swallow. I had my friend still there with me. I cried. So leaving that doctor's appointment, I called the father. I told him, we were having twins. He was super excited. Then I had to tell him one passed away. We had that conversation, and just kind of that point forward, that's when his support started. And it was kind of neither here nor there for me to go back and forth with him anymore. So everything was appreciated from that point forward. So Tuesday, doctor's appointment was on Monday. Tuesday comes around, I'm not really feeling like any baby movement, and usually when I get in the shower, that's when they were active the most. So I'm not really feeling any baby movement, and I called the nurse. I called my mom first, and she was like, okay, well, call the nurse. So I called the nurse, and they're like, usually after doctor's appointments, baby may be tired or, not wanting to be bothered. It's normal. It's normal. Just, see how the day goes. So day progresses on. I'm still not getting any baby movement. And Wednesday rolls around. So Wednesday morning, I get up and I get ready for class. And I go use the restroom. And when I wipe, there was like a little small streak of blood. But that triggered so many nerves. And I was just nervous. I was sweating. I was just like, I went through. So my Wednesday class was my English class. My English class was an hour and 45 minutes. And I went through that whole class. Just, I'm like, God wouldn't do this to me. He just wouldn't. So I know that my baby's gonna be okay. So the whole class period, I'm like fiddling with my stomach, like trying to make her move around. And meanwhile, I'm texting my mom like, no movement, no nothing. So I text my mentor, which is actually the guy who picked me up from the hospital when I found out I was having, by the way. But I text my mentor, and I just kind of told him like, this is what's going on. I just need you to take me to the doctor when I get out of class. So that's what he did. He met me outside the building that I was when I was in class, and we went to the hospital. I called my mom and let her know what was going on. And when I got to I got to triage. From triage, I was told to go to labor and delivery. So I go to labor and delivery. I'm hooked up to all these monitors, and finally the nurses come in with the ultrasound equipment, and they go over baby A. No heartbeat. So now I'm 2 babies gone, by myself. I was broken. I was lost. I was hurt. I was just like, this is my first time telling this story. Like, I mean, I've told it before, but this is my first time going into detail from literal start to finish. So I'm not gonna get emotional, but it was such a hard pill to swallow. I was so hurt. I was so lost. And I honestly just didn't know what to do. So once they found out that I had lost the second baby, we just kind of talked about what the next steps were and where to go from there. So I had what happened next? I had let's see. Oh, so from there, they let me kind of get some time to call family and stuff. So I had called my mom, and she made the arrangements with her job to come down to where I was, and then notified like my sister and then his side of the family that his mom came down or whatever, and so everybody was down by like midnight that night. So they got me comfortable in my room, and the babies were big enough by this time that I actually had to deliver them. So I got induced, and if you don't know what that is, an induction is when you get medicine to jumpstart your labor. So that's what they did. So there's 2 types. There's an IV induction, and then there's pills. I don't know if one is more suitable if one is more for a certain situation, or if it's just kind of like what's available at the time. But I got the pill one, which I think it was like 3 pills that they insert in your vaginal area, and just kind of let it go from there. Kendall, get that out your mouth, please. So that happened. I had, what did I have as pain medicine? I don't know. I had some pain medicine, and it had me tripping. I was high to the sky, and I was just feeling real good. That's all I know. But pain medicine, and I was just having contractions back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I think I was in labor for like 20 hours. I got induced at, what was it, 11? I got induced at 11, and then I had them at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got induced at 11 a.m. and I had them at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, 12 p.m. the next day. So, I kind of want to show y'all pictures, but it's a lot. I might add some at the end. But, so, I got induced. So, it was time to start pushing. My water broke. And by this time, I'm just like in a pool of blood and mucus and slime and just feeling like horrible. But they were literally like ounces, like 5 ounces. So it pushing wasn't bad at all. They actually slipped out. And I could feel everything. I didn't have an epidural because obviously they weren't big enough. I didn't have an epidural, so I felt everything, and it actually wasn't that bad. I definitely got an epidural with her though. Woo! Here. What? But so baby B comes out first, and I'm like yelling to the doctors like, she coming, she coming, she coming. And obviously they weren't like in a rush because, you know, they weren't alive, but she just kind of slipped out. And I knew that they were dead, but I didn't know what they were gonna look like, so I was terrified to touch them, to hold them, or anything. But they let me, and it was kind of like the most bittersweet moment of my life. Like, I didn't want to let them go. I stayed in the hospital. I got induced on Wednesday, and I didn't get discharged at the hospital until Saturday. So I stayed in the hospital after I had them. The bereavement nurse came in and talked to me. Miss Sue, like, she is the best bereavement nurse. Literally, this lady checked up on me once every week after I had them for at least a year and a half. And this will be another story, but when I had Kendall, I went back to that same school, you know, because I'm like, okay, I'm in a good space, I'm in a better space. I want to go back and try to get my degree. I went to the hospital, and I let my bereavement nurse meet my daughter because I'm like, y'all went through this with me, so I just had to come back and, you know, share her with them. So, I had them, and because I didn't have them, like, they didn't technically meet the 5-month mark. They weren't considered, like, I guess, actual infants. So they weren't able to, like, get social security numbers and birth certificates. However, they made me one anyway, so I got birth certificates for them. I still got their hospital clothes. I still have what? What, mama? Want milk? Come on. 1 minute, y'all. Come on, let's go get some. sleepy. Here. Here, ma. Okay. Okay. So, I forgot where I left off at. What? Yeah, so I got to, spend as much time with them as I could. They weren't fully developed yet, so you could they were very transparent. You could kind of like see through their skin almost, like their veins, the blood, and things like that. So they couldn't stay with me as long as I wanted them to because they were kind of like literally melting. So it was just really, really hard, like to give birth to 2 kids that you can't take home. I spent as much time as I could with them. I talked to them. I just like they were here, and it was just it was really hard, like to be so young, and it was really hard. But I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for the blessings. I have them tattooed on my back. And I received like a little bit of backlash, like people were saying like, basically trying to take away the fact that, they made me a mother. Regardless of the fact that they were here or not, they made me a mother before she did. And I'm forever grateful for that. So nobody can take that away from me. But definitely forever grateful for the experience. I don't have any regrets at all. Everything happens for a reason. I mean, God know that at 18 I didn't need 2 kids. I mean, that's just how I look at it. I'm a firm believer in God, so everything happens for a reason. Do I wish that they were here? What? Do I wish they were here? Absolutely. But I mean, I wouldn't have my little blessing here, so everything happens for a reason. But I kind of wanted to share that story with you guys because it made me who I am today. Had I not had that experience, I wouldn't be as strong as I am because I went through depression. I was so depressed. I did not want to go back to school and finish my degree. I didn't want to do anything. I was very depressed. I was very suicidal. I was extremely lost. And I didn't know what. I didn't want to know what was next for me. I spent the next like 6 months traveling and trying to find myself and moved to different states and just lost and trying to find some hope, trying to find some faith. What, Kendall? Trying to find some hope, trying to find some faith, and just trying to find my way back to me, back to my normal. And honestly, I never got back to. Okay, y'all. So sorry about that. Kendall was a little bit not having. So yeah. So I was extremely just lost and heartbroken. Trying to find my way, and I did a lot of soul searching and a lot of I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of trying to find myself and things like that. And I finally got back into the city, and I just said, you know what? Actually, no, I didn't. The last place I went to, I got pregnant with her. But then I got back to the city, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna fight the good fight, and just see where this takes me. I had my rainbow baby, as they say, and it was definitely my calm after this storm. But it was extremely hard. Kendall, stop. She thinks that I'm not watching her. Thinks just because I'm not watching her, I'm not watching her. But yeah. So that was definitely my calm after the storm. And thank you. And it was just she's a huge blessing. I love this little girl to death, and I honestly don't know what I would do without her or where I would be without her. So thank God for her. And really, this is just to, I love you so much. Oh. This is really just, you know, for awareness. Like, I wrote a paper on abortions and things like that in college, and it's just something that's overlooked. And just like me, I'm sure a lot of other people were told that, you know, when it's time to have the mommy conversation, you kind of feel left out because, you know, you have kids in heaven who didn't make it and it wasn't their fault. So it's just kind of one of those things that you have to learn how to cope with, learn how to deal with. It never gets better. It doesn't get easier. I mean, it gets easier to deal with, but it's just one of those things that you just have to learn to live with. So, yeah, I mean, I just hope and pray that if anybody out there is going through the same thing or a similar situation that I went through, that you guys try to turn that into something positive. You know what I'm saying? I fell into a deep depression. I did, and I felt alone. I really didn't feel like that there was anybody who I could talk to or who I could go to. But I got them cremated, and actually, I'm gonna show you. This is the key to my heart. I got them cremated. This is actually the only option because I couldn't have a funeral. I wasn't gonna have a funeral, but in this little pouch are the ashes of my kids, my twins. And it's crazy because 2 years ago, I would have never gotten to this video without sobbing. But this is it. They have a little thing on here. I've never opened this. It's like sealed with the zip tie. But I'm shaking. These are the ashes. Yeah, so I just pray that, you know, me telling my truth, that it helps somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I got through it. It's not easy. It's extremely, extremely hard, especially to be so young. And I have to go through that. And I have to battle depression, as well as find yourself, as well as figure out everyday life, as well as to still take care of yourself. Still take care of your well-being. It was extremely hard, but I got through it, and I know that anybody else can too. And my DMs, my inboxes, whatever you guys deem fit, is open to talk, to discuss. If there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, I'm definitely open to it. I'm definitely open to all awarenesses. There's probably not too much that I haven't been through that I'm okay with sharing, because it's my truth. It's everything that I've been through has made me who I am today. And I hold that dear to me, because I mean, I have to. It's just who I am. It's what made me. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, all 12 of my subscribers. Everybody who's tuned in to watch my boringness, appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, I just wanted to start this channel and just shed light on my truths. That's it, really. Just to kind of get a peek into my life, to give my kids a memory. So be on the lookout for more videos. Like I said, thank you guys so much for subscribing. I love you. Peace.